Have you ever wondered what the most unstoppable jutsu in the ninja world are? From attacks that can destroy mountains to techniques that can bend reality itself, some abilities are so powerful that the strongest shinobi struggle to survive them. In this countdown, we'll explore the top 10 most terrifying jutsu ever seen, diving into their incredible power, the legendary users who mastered them, and the moments that proved why these techniques are feared across the entire ninja world. Get ready, because some of these abilities are truly next level. At number 10 is the particle style, also called the atomic dismantling jutsu, used by the third Tsuchikage, Onoki. This jutsu is extremely rare and is one of the highest level techniques in the shinobi world. It's created by combining 3 different chakra natures, which are earth, wind, and fire. This special mix makes it far more powerful than normal elemental techniques. The user brings their hands together and creates a visible shape, like a small cube or cone floating in the air. That shape slowly forms and glows with strong energy. Once it's released, anything that touches it is instantly broken apart at the smallest level. It doesn't just cut or burn the target, it completely erases it by turning it into fine dust. Walls, weapons, and even the strongest defenses cannot survive this attack. Because of this, its power is seen as almost unbeatable. However, this jutsu puts a heavy strain on the user's body and chakra, which is why only someone with great control, skill, and experience like Onoki can use it safely. Moving up on the list, number 9 is Kamui, used by Obito Uchiha. This powerful space and time jutsu comes from the Mangekyo Sharingan Eye. With this ability, he can create a swirling vortex in front of him. That vortex can pull in people, weapons, or even Obito himself, and send them to a hidden dimension that only he can access. It's like stepping into another world that's completely separate from the normal one. Kamui is most famous because of the strange way it protects him. When someone tries to hit him, Obito can make parts of his body shift into that other dimension. The attack then passes right through him without hurting him at all. To everyone watching, it looks like he's turned into a ghost. He can choose exactly when his body becomes solid and when it becomes untouchable, which makes it very hard to find an opening to strike. On top of this, Kamui also allows him to teleport across space. He can appear behind enemies, escape danger in an instant, or remove strong opponents from the battlefield by pulling them into his dimension. He can even move massive targets like the tailed beasts. This combination of attack, defense, and teleportation is what made Obito one of the most dangerous and hardest fighters to deal with for a very long time. Next, at number 8, we have Izanagi, used by Danzo Shimura. This is a very dangerous and forbidden illusion technique that comes from the Uchiha clan. When Izanagi is activated, the user can change reality for a short time. If they're badly injured or even killed, the technique rewrites that moment and turns it into something that never really happened. It's like turning death into an illusion, allowing the user to stand up again as if nothing happened. This makes Izanagi one of the strongest life-saving abilities ever seen. However, it comes with a serious cost. The Sharingan Eye used to activate the technique goes blind forever once it's finished. That means that it can only be used once per eye. Danzo knew this, so he found a way to use multiple eyes at the same time. By using many Sharingan and the power of Hashirama's cells, he was able to extend how long Izanagi lasted and use it again and again in battle. This made him extremely hard to kill and allowed him to cheat death several times before finally being defeated. The list continues with number 7, the 6-path sage mode rasenshuriken, used by Naruto Uzumaki. This is the most powerful version of his signature attack. He creates it by mixing the wind nature of the rasenshuriken with the special power he received from the Sage of 6 Paths, Hagoromo. This new form of the jutsu is far stronger and more dangerous than the earlier versions he used before. Unlike the normal rasenshuriken, this one doesn't just explode on the outside. When it hits its target, it attacks the inside of their body as well. It damages their organs and their very life energy at a tiny cellular level. Because of this, the injuries it causes cannot be easily healed by normal medical techniques or regeneration. Even extremely powerful enemies feel its full impact. This jutsu was strong enough to be used against godlike opponents who were far beyond normal shinobi. It also shows how much Naruto had grown, because he could use this level of power without relying completely on Kurama's massive chakra cloak. Instead, it came from his own mastery of sage power, and his deep connection to the power of the 6 paths. At number 6 is the powerful sealing technique called Chibaku Tensei, also known as planetary devastation, used by Nagato. This is a very high-level jutsu that can be used by someone who possesses the Rinnegan. To activate it, the user throws a small black sphere into the air. That tiny sphere becomes a strong center of gravity. As soon as it's in the sky, it starts pulling in everything around it. The ground, rocks, trees, and even buildings are ripped from the earth and dragged toward the sphere. The target is trapped in the middle, as all this debris piles on top of them. Over time, it grows into a huge floating mass that looks like a small planet hanging in the sky. Nagato once used this technique to seal Naruto when he was covered in the power of the Eight Tails. The prison it creates is so big and so dense that escaping from it is almost impossible. The way to break free is to hit it with a massive and constant attack from the outside and destroy the gravitational core at its center. This is why Chibaku Tensei is considered one of the strongest sealing techniques in the series. Moving to massive scale techniques, number 5 is Sage Art Wood Release, True Several Thousand Hands, used by the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. This is the ultimate and most feared jutsu. By combining his rare wood release with the power of stage mode, Hashirama creates an enormous wooden statue that towers over mountains and fills the battlefield. The statue has thousands of giant arms lined up behind it, and each one can move and strike on its own. When it attacks, it unleashes a never-ending storm of massive wooden fists that crash down on the enemy from every direction. Each strike is powerful enough to flatten land, destroy defenses, and overpower even the strongest creatures. This technique was so overwhelming that it was able to defeat the Nine Tails even when it was protected by Madara's perfect Susanoo armor, something no normal shinobi could ever hope to do. It perfectly shows why Hashirama was called the god of shinobi. The list now reaches number 4, Indra's Arrow, the ultimate attack used by Sasuke Uchiha. In the final battle, Sasuke gathers the enormous chakra of all nine-tailed beasts and pulls that power into his perfect Susanoo. This power fills Susanoo with an almost endless amount of energy. He then forms a gigantic black bow made of pure lightning in his hands, and slowly draws back a massive arrow made from compressed chakra. That single arrow carries the power of the tailed beast and Sasuke's full strength combined. When it's released, it moves with extreme speed and destroys everything in its path. The impact from its clash with Naruto's strongest attack was so great that it split the ground, shook the mountains, and left a huge scar across the land, proving that Indra's Arrow is one of the most destructive single-strike attacks in the entire series. At number 3 is the supreme space and time jutsu called the Amenominaka, used by Kagura Otsutsuki, the origin of all chakra. This technique does not simply move one person from place to place. Instead, it instantly switches the entire dimension she's standing in with another one of her own worlds. In a blink, the battlefield can change into an icy wasteland, a world filled with acid, a burning land of lava, or a heavy gravity zone where it becomes hard to even stand. Everyone around her is dragged into that new world without any warning. This sudden change makes it almost impossible for enemies to prepare or escape, because the rules of the environment can change in an instant. One moment they're fighting on normal ground, and the next they're trapped in a deadly place that slowly kills them. This is why Amenominaka is one of the most terrifying abilities, as it lets Kaguya control the battlefield itself and overwhelm her enemies through the environment alone. At number 2 is Night Guy, the final and most powerful taijutsu attack used by Might Guy. To use this move, Guy must open the 8th gate of death, which releases every physical limit inside his body. This gives him power far beyond any normal human, but it also means his body will be destroyed afterward. When Night Guy is activated, a massive raging dragon-shaped aura forms around him as he charges forward at unbelievable speed. His movement becomes so fast and intense that it bends the space around him. He then delivers a single, unstoppable kick with all his strength. The impact is so powerful that it was able to badly injure Madara in the Six Paths form, someone who was almost immortal at that point. This attack is not about technique or strategy, but pure physical power pushed to its absolute limit, making it one of the most powerful and emotional moves in the entire series. Finally, the undisputed number 1 is the infinite Tsukuyomi, used by Madara Uchiha. This is the highest level genjutsu possible, cast by reflecting the light from the user's Rene Sharingan off the moon. This light instantly ensnares all living beings on Earth, trapping them in an eternal dream where they live out their greatest desires, creating a false, perfect peace that removes all free will. The jutsu's ultimate goal is to bind victims to the roots of the god tree, slowly draining their chakra until they are converted into white zetsu, making it the most dominant, world-ending, reality-altering genjutsu in the entire series. That's it, fellas. Let me know what you think about this list.